Hello and welcome to Rubbings Racing TV. You're here with your host Lecky, and you're here watching the 35th edition of the Thursday Night Lights. Very pleased to be bringing this to you this evening. This evening we have got our BMW 2002 Stanceworks edition. Wonderful little car, and we've got this around the Nurburgring sprint circuit. So these guys just getting into qualifying now. Still yet to set some lap time, so just let these guys get a hang of the cars, get into action, let you get to grips with some of the racing that's going on. I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, our driver starting to set some lap times in now. It looks like we've got VMX, who's currently just returned to pits, but are currently our pole position sitter. Closely followed by Clark and Evan, put up in 1:39. So similar lap times, not a lot splitting these guys. As the guy starts to just pull some more lap times in now. Okay, so as these guys start to pull some quicker lap times together, start to get the tyres warm now. Welcome. So this is a bit of a new experience for us this evening. You've got Lecky as your commentator instead of the usual Murphy or Kembo, which you might be used to. So please bear with me if this is a little bit green around the gills or a little bit rough around the edges. Do try and bear with me. I'll try and keep it as best I can for you. So like I said, we are at the 35th Thursday Night Light. So we come into this event following last week's Thursday Night Lights, which saw a back-to-back win for Clark, I believe. So Clark, our driver, who's currently sitting in second position, had an outstanding event last time out. Showed consistency throughout. Really great drive from Clark. So we'll be looking to repeat that performance here. Again, starting to pull in some quick lap times now, so we'll be hoping to punch for that spot from the off. But yeah, so we're at Nurburgring Sprint today. No, not a full Nurburgring GP course, but obviously Nurburgring Sprint, which I believe is roughly 2.29 miles, which is about 3.7 kilometers worth of circuit. Almost really as technical as the GP track. You're only really missing one section out, which is the extended hairpin towards the bottom. The vast majority of the most difficult corners are still in there. I've still got both chicanes in there. So again, going to be a challenging circuit. Will be difficult for the 2002s. A reputable car, but a vintage car. So you are dealing with sort of stuff like the older, less capable tyres. So these guys are not going to have quite the grip they might be used to in some of the more modern vehicles. So that'll be interesting to watch this evening. So as we just run through our grid for today, a few usual suspects making an appearance. So we've got Evan, our Irish driver, who's making another appearance. Hurlo was with us again today. T-Tackers, Trotty, so some of the usual names coming up. These guys like to try and make an appearance wherever they can on Thursday nights, but our regular drivers in most of our other championships. So looking to further experience here in some other vehicles for some of our new drivers, and back to what they know for some of our existing drivers. So as we take a look at Nicky here, so great looking car that Nicky's picked, a wonderful looking livery on that BMW. Got to number 45 today. So Nicky currently on 8th on our grid, so he's putting in 140s at the moment. Capable lap times, not quite the 138s that we've seen from VMX Rider here, but again, not a slow lap time. All these guys within a couple of seconds of here, really, from start to finish now. So as we go through our qualifying session, we start to see things stabilising here. The drivers seem to start bunching up. Less than a couple of seconds, really, between the top 10 here, really. So all the way down to Jack are really getting in with a straight over, picking up some decent points this evening. Just to remind everybody, this is a 2-event feature. So we've got the sprint race initially, followed by a reverse grid feature race. The sprint race will be a 20-minute session, followed by the double length feature race as per usual. So as our qualifying session starts to come to a close now, that's the way we have it. So VMX looks like he's topping out at 138.6s. Great times though. Anything under 139, you've got to be proud of around here. Uniclark seems to be playing in the 138. So VMX is pitting, and that does look like the last for him, but Uniclark is still out on track. The damage front end on there, so he has taken a knock during this session, but hopefully be on a clean lap now. He comes up on, I think that's the car of Hurlo. So both these guys probably trying to make a quick lap in, so he won't really want to be relinquishing position. Both these cars look like they've been in the wars during qualifying, so possibly a little bit of patchwork needed before qualifying in the race. That's how that comes into place there. Oh, and Uniclark spins it, so that won't be a fast lap for Uniclark there. So it does look like that's what we've got for Uniclark. Still out on track, we've got Nicky. Nicky's coming in, currently holding a 139, but we'll be hoping to improve. Let's see as he comes around the final turn now. Up to the start-finish line. So an improvement for Nicky. Nicky moves up to third, so great improvement for Nicky there. Sorry, so excuse me. So we've just run through our qualifying results. We have VMX Rider at the top. He qualifies in pole position, followed by Uniclark in second, Nicky in third, Trotty or Tro in fourth place, Evan in fifth, and fairly new coming to Rubbish Racing community, Jack de Mendes, in sixth place. So that's running out our 139s into the 140s. Again, another fairly newcomer to Rubbish Racing, T-Tackers. In 8th we've got Dan VWB, 9th we have Declan Grant, and 10th we have Amber Hewitt. Moving down to 11th we've got Cov Carl, 12th Matowski, 13th Hurlo, and as our guys get ready now to just go into the race, 14th Diddy Cartista, 15th is Shell, and 16th is Aliento. So as the guys line up on the grid now for our first race of this evening, I said it's a 20-minute sprint. Usual league standards apply. Realistic driving settings will be playing a feature here. some of these old cars do not have a sequential gearbox, so that will be making a difference to the guys. As we line up here on the grid now, nice full grid for Thursday Night Lights this evening, wonderful to see. So good luck to all the drivers out here as we get ready for the lights. So just while we wait for the lights to come down, if you are interested in our sim racing community, get involved in the action, or if you're interested in the commentary, or want to learn a little bit more about us, head over to rubbinsracing.co.uk. Take a look through the information there. You can scroll down and hit the driver sign up button. That'll get you involved directly in the action, or you can hit buy us a coffee, try and support our non-profit organisation and the good stuff that we do here. Coming up later on this evening, like I said, we do have our feature race, small intermission in between. Okay, as we start to get underway here, so I think the drivers are being now presented with the lights. Countdown, and we are underway this evening. So it looks like Uniclark's got a great start, and Nicky's got a great start as well. VMX, they're bogging down on the line, so maybe missed the lights, maybe fumbled a gear there, but Uniclark up into first, Nicky into second, and Evan into third as they come into turn one here. Evan down the inside, trying to make a move there on Nicky, thinks better of it. Nicky does slide wide though, letting Evan through. So Evan moving up into second place. So just as you come through the first few corners, we've got Uniclark, Evan, Nicky, Jack, VMX, and Shaw. That's the top six for you. As we come into the tricky hairpin section, this nasty right-hand corner, which is prime for making these little BMW spin out here. Does look clean and tidy through this section though. And heavy into the braking zone. As you come into what officially, theoretically, is turn one on the circuit according to Nurburgring's official standards, but not in project cars. And BMX riding a little bit wide there. Still managed to keep the inside line 11 though. We stay with this battle here. So this is the battle for third place that VMX is currently heading up. But we have VMX, Evan, Jack and Trotty are all in close succession here. Definitely not far behind following through. And that is allowing Uniclark to get a little bit of a gap now on Nicky, as we see Evan start to get a bit twitchy there, and VMX needs to run that to avoid an accident. You do see a car dropping back there, I'm not quite sure who that is, but you see a gaggle of brand new BMWs come through there on the inside. As we see it with Dan now here in 7th place, so this is a battle for 7. And clean and tidy though as you come through into lap 2 now, so not too much in terms of the incidents. Start to get a bit of space out now. However, did the car tested? Looks like he has picked up a little bit of damage on the front end here, so that will be affecting him through this race. Hopefully not too much though, hopefully can continue. As we go back on board with Uniclark now. Uniclark currently leading our field with a 1.4 second gap, so starting to run away with this now. Uniclark, again, like we said, coming off back-to-back wins in the previous Thursday Night Lights, so looking to push on here. Starting to be a firm favourite, this for Uniclark. But Nicky is hot on his heels, so not too far behind him. A second gap in it, Nicky trying to pull that distance down a little bit now, and starting to create a bit of a gap between himself and VMX, who's behind him. So 1, 2, 3, starting to get away from the rest of the field now. Certainly in fourth, there is a 6-7 way battle for 4th here. Currently being ahead of the field by Evan. I'm trying to do his best to fend off the pack here. But any of these guys, Jack, T-Tech, or Dan, in with a shout here for that 4th place. We start to get a bit nudged there, and it's turned Evan round, so all sorts of sideways there. We will need to go to replays to look at that one. That was too close quarters to be able to get enough to see exactly what went on there, but Evan certainly nudged into that. Maybe he went sideways a bit, the car behind him turned him round. I'll have to go to the replays for that one, guys. But after that, it looks like T-Tech has come out of this on top, with Declan close behind him and Dan hot on his heels. As they come up to turn number 1 now, hot on the brakes. All the cars liking to run wide here, and again a couple of spinners in the background there. As we see Declan being turned round. So was that Troy and Declan there in contact? So starting to be a little bit of contact now. Maybe tyres starting to give in as we approach lap 3. So again, quite a difference in age between the cars that we've got this evening and what the guys maybe used to drive in. GT5s, Clios, even those cars are quite modern. But you're talking, you know, the BMW was quite aged now. It's a 1960s vehicle, early 68s, I believe. One of the first vehicles to have trailing rear arm suspension, McPherson front struts. So a modern vehicle for its time, but still quite dated now. As we're on board with Amber here in 8th. We've got Evan, who seems to be trying to make his way back up the park. As he looks to the inside, he does make it stick, but there is contact though. Evan managing to work his way through there, back up into 7th place, desperate to try and get back onto the action here as he goes around the outside. A little bit wide there, allows 3 cars to come through. So that's Kovkart, Amber Kiwi and Troll managed to squeeze through that gap there. Amber Kiwi, our South African driver, but living in Ireland, I believe, so 11 just trying to go toe to toe there. And again we've got contact, so quite severe contact. So Amber Kiwi and I believe it may have been Declan there was getting involved with a bit of contact. Looks like Declan's dropped down the order. Door-to-door contact, it did look fair, but again we'll have to go to the replays for that one. Shell tries to take a look down his inside now, and does. Looks like he's got the run. Herlo behind this pack now, still trying to be involved in the action, but not getting directly involved. Probably waiting for a mistake, a bit more patience is shown from Herlo here, as he does know. Look, have a look down the inside, and we'll go on board with him here. And pick him up down from top gear, 4th, 3rd, heavy on the brakes here into this chicane. These BMWs not liking the aprons, particularly the sausage curbs, on any track to be honest. Suspension not really being conducive to a soft bump situation, so they do get quite upset on entrance into the corners. As we see them trying to go almost 3 wide now into turn 1. With Kovkart, Evan and Tro not willing to give it up. Tro thinking better of it. And that lovely coloured orange and green BMW there. Lovely 70s colour on that thing. As they come down now into turns 3 and 4. Trotty still holding up 9th place. With Amber Kiwi behind him, Herlo just behind him, as again he tries to look up the inside of Kovkart. So keeps trying to make it stick down the inside, backing out at the last minute. I'm sure if he keeps this up that he will make that move stick eventually. And Kovkart does run a little bit wide there. Maybe he will have the run this time. So that's Trot to see his way move up to 8th spot, as we see Evan going off the track there in front, and he rejoins amidst the action but safely and manages to come out on top. So well done Evan for that. Managing to keep control there. but Trotty and Kovkar just not letting this battle give up now as he brings Ambiguity back into play as he tries to come down the centre. 3 wide into this corner won't go, but 2 just about. And again, Kovkar just getting his nose in front, making Trotty wait. And Ambiguity's had enough of the waiting now. He tries down the inside. He says, Trotty, move aside. I'm going to have a go at the guy. As they come down the back straight now, still on lap 6. Uniclark still out in first. We see Nicky in second and VMX in third, so no change there. We've again got a bit of a gap now between Nicky and VMX, so and a considerable gap then between 4th place. So first, second, and third. Looks like they've got this in the bag as long as there's no mistakes here. The drivers probably be quite happy with considering the result, albeit VMX did get a boggy start. He's managed to maintain throughout. So in 4th place we've got T-Techers, so again fairly new member of Rubbish Racing, be happy to doing well in the Thursday nights here. Dan again in 5th. I know Dan's been looking forward to this race. I've been speaking to Dan beforehand. Difficult car again to drive. I'm not sure what the experience Dan has with this in the past, but again doing well up in 5th place. As we see Chat getting a little bit wide on the rubbers there on the back. Again, another great livery on this car. Reminiscent of a modded livery I'm pretty sure I've seen online, but yeah, great looking car there. Jack holding up 6th place at the moment, 16 seconds off the lead, and that holds up our top 6 there. So a little bit of a gap between 3rd and 4th, but pretty much our top 6 being one pack. And then as we go into 7th place, just coming back into the action there as we see 7th, 8th and 9th getting involved in action again. These guys will not leave each other alone tonight. As we see Hurlo, he just manages to make it stick around the last corner and turn 11 and get onto the straight. That's Kovkar just behind him, so managed to avoid the action. The Argy going on behind, but Trotty, Shell, Ambiguity in the thick of it. So Trotty and Ambiguity really getting involved with each other tonight, trading paint like there's no tomorrow. As we come into this nasty adverse camper section, and a difficult turn 4. Again, turn 4 really making the car sit up. I want to spit the back end out here, so the guys having to go into that corner gingerly. And you've got the a nice bit of a run down now. That Troll seems to be getting the better of on Hurlo, but thinks better of it as he comes down now into turn 5. Again, the major difference here between this and the Nurburgring GP being turn 5. As Hurlo loses it on the rubbers on the outside, a full spin there from Hurlo. And I'll send him back a few positions, allowing Troll to take that position through into 9th place now. So Troll, another one of our Welsh drivers, long-standing member of Rubbish Racing. As we come to Shellendall now, so Shellendall currently in 11th place. Again, he's another recent member to Rubbish Racing. They're looking to get involved in all our championships and our action. Another capable driver, but looks like he's struggling here a little bit today. Looks like the BMW's also taking a little bit of a beating there. So he's been involved with one or two traded paints, but with some of the guys at the back there, again, not difficult to drive these cars. I completely understand and wanted to go sideways on you, but okay, and we take a little look at VMX now. VMX coming up behind what looks like a lap car. It looks like the livery of Nicky, but it can't be. Surely that must be a lap car. Yeah, Nicky's a fair distance away. So 1, 2, 3, not an awful lot of action. In fact, it is Nicky. So Nicky's obviously made a mistake there, and VMX is closed up to the back of him quite considerably. As they're coming up to timing sector 2 at turn 9 now. Turn 9 now, VMX takes a look down the inside in the Zetral Momo livery there. Lovely pastel paintwork. And I believe that's Nicky that he's going to struggle to try and get that run though. They both come door to door, almost trading paintwork though. Yeah, and that's Nicky sits in behind, so BMX does take second place there on lap 9. So we've got one more lap. Nicky will be making to look this take this position back. He won't be happy with just sitting there in third, as he's led BMX for a good 6-7 laps during this race so far. Nicky getting a great start off the beginning, which set him up there. So not an awful lot of distance between these two drivers, less than a second now. As we come again into that difficult turn 4 and onto this short stretch to open her up. But Nicky looking like he's catching VMX there on the straight, but maybe VMX got a little bit more in the corners. Looks like he's having to snatch that front wheel there to try and keep the front end in check. So a little run down the order as we're coming down the last lap. Again, Uni Clark in first, VMX second, Nicky third, T-Tac is in fourth and Dan in fifth. So not much change to the running order from the rest of the guys. Take a look now at Jack. He's still sniffing around with Dan in front, but not close enough to make an attack at this stage. Let's just carry on going down through the order. So that's Amber Q that we see there. Carl just in front of him. Again, not enough in between these guys to make a big difference. So in terms of lap times, 1:39 in qualifying was possibly a little slow. 1:39 is a good race pace, but 1:38 we were seeing in qualifying. So these guys almost hitting what they're doing in qualifying pace. Trying to be a little bit more ginger, take it easy for our sprint race to make sure they've got that position in the bag. As we take a little look on board, second and third place now, and the action between these guys. We'll take the final lap here as we come up to the long hairpin at R5, theoretically a double apex hairpin. As we come across T1 there on the Vilstein Bridge. It doesn't look like Nicky's going to be able to be in unless there's a mistake. He's not going to be in with a chance to take that position there. Just won't have the legs on the back straight now. They open this up. And into the final section now. Yeah, it looks like VMX is keeping it together, as well as Nicky. So good finish from those guys. Well done with the pass as Uni Clark comes around the final corner now. So a solid performance from Uni Clark, in front from the off and remain there. So well done to Uni Clark for that. BMX we have coming over the line in second, and Nicky in a close third. Got a little bit of a gap now, so a few seconds gap before we have T-Tackers. So before fourth place comes across the line. T-Tackers running low on information for this gentleman actually, so I can't give you a lot of information, but good performance from one of our newer members there. As we see Dan and Jack now coming across the line in the background for 5th and 6th place. So a close battle between those two guys. Managed to close it up. I think Jack managed to eventually bring that up onto Stan in the background. Everyone we've got in 7th place. In a comfortable 7th place. Trotty again in 3rd, but Kovkal, Amber Kiwi and both in close succession. Herman we have in 11th place. Decky 12th, Materski in 13th, and Shell coming up in 14th place. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that's all she wrote for race 1. My apologies, they are coming across the finish line as we speak now. In the order as predicted. So well done, gentlemen. Nice to see some magic badge at the beginning there from 6th downwards, but first, second and third keeping it clean throughout. Nicky's not done yet, he's still on the back of Lee. Still not finished yet. And Nicky finding some stamina at the end there as he pressures Lee. Past that difficult turn as they come down the straight next to the hairpin. Under the eye-back bridge. Lee will be looking to just keep this steady, keep his elbows out wide, not make too much of a mistake and not show too much of a door to Nicky behind him now. Close battle here for second place. So Nicky putting on 1:39 last lap, which is a good 0.304 of a second quicker than VMX, so potentially a mistake there from VMX as we come up to the final chicane. That's letting Nicky to close up on him, but I think there's been a little bit of bunching up throughout the front three, so Uniclark obviously easing off there the last 2 laps, just trying to save himself some hard work and reduce that to a 4-second gap. And Nicky doesn't unfortunately get it across the line quicker than VMX this time, but nice display, gentlemen, great racing. T-Tech is in 4th place, and as he comes across the line, Dan and Jack now, still 5th and 6th place, order remained, but again quite a close battle, could have gone either way for those guys early on in this race. And as we see the battle torn Evan coming across the line there, he does look like he's been in the wars. Evan, Tro and Kovkal all trading paintwork there. You can see scuffs on all these BMWs that come across the line. Amber Curie comes across in 10th place, and Herlo coming the worst of that pack in 11th place. He comes around the final corner now, again with a twisted front end, so I'll need some panel beating done, I think, and some quick repairs for the feature race. As we see Deck come across now in 12th place, Declan another new member of Rubens Racing, and in 13th behind Mitowski, who's just coming up through our final chicane now. For the old Elvis lip on that last corner there, giving us the old oh ho ho as he comes round. And finally at the back of the grid we have Shell, so that makes up our 14 finishes for the day. So as our guys get ready for our feature race here, which is again double the length and reverse grid, they'll be looking to hammer those panels back into order, make a few reparations, maybe quick nip to the gents quickly. So as we let the guys prepare, I'll get myself prepared for our next race, and I will be back with you guys in just a moment. Precise, much more precise turning and front end capability, and had trailing rear arm suspension, which was very uncommon at the time. So late 60s, early 70s. Initially based off the 1602, was upgraded with a 2-litre engine. Almost didn't happen actually. It was the great request of an American importer that didn't see the 1602 as a viable product. So, but yeah, quickly adapted by modders and tuning specialists, and is a firm favourite around some of the circuits at present. So, as we come up to our last turn, they will be forming up now. So, on to the left, evens on the right, and it will be as they roll up to the line. Be on the front driver to make go, and they are go as they cross the line. So Matowski maintains that front position. Declan behind him in second, makes it look down the inside. But Matowski and Ambicu really are starting to battle for third and fourth place. As Ambicu sends it around the outside, sends it a little bit wide though, and we have contact in the first corner, first and second place, and contact again between first and second place. And out the back end of that carnage, we've got Evan. It sees Evan in first place with Matowski in second, Dan in third, and Hurlo in fourth. But cars still trying to avoid the action that's out on grid, so be careful when you're out there, guys. Make sure try and avoid any spills. Okay, so as we start to get into the flow of things now, into lap one, we'll take a look on board with Hurlo, who's made it all the way up to fourth place. So a good leap forward there for Hurlo. As we come into turn 8 and down onto the almost lost the back straight. So Hurlo maintaining fourth position, 2.5 seconds off the lead position, holding Cov Carl at bay. But not a lot between the top 9-10 drivers here at present, as we start to see, I think that was Nicky trying to take a look down the inside. I think it was on T-Techers. And as we see VMX come into the pit, so some guys making an early pit stop now. Yep, VMX comes in. Declan comes in. We've got two guys that have pitted already. The rest of the field stays out. As we watch the battle here between Carl, Hurlo and Jack for fourth place. Again, these pit stops will make a difference, engine damage will make a difference to these cars, so definitely a possibility here in the last part of the race. That pit stop's timed well, and Lee leaving the pit box now, so as does Declan. So similar time pit stops for these guys. Looks like it was a tactical pit stop as opposed to damage. As we see Carl going wide and Jack trying to take a look down the inside now, and Nicky right up behind him. So Nicky moving his way up to sixth place now, right from almost the back of the grid. Nicky having a great show so far in this race, and looking for his next target. Let's take a little look on board. Quick check from the brake lights there from Jack in front, try and keep the back end in check as we come down to turn 8. Fastest part of the circuit is this, as we come up to the NGK chicane. Nicky maintaining 6th place as he tries to he gets an outstanding run out the chicane. As he comes to Coca-Cola curve on the inside, it's a slower line on the inside though, but he looks to make it stick, and Jack having to slot in behind. So Nicky doing well so far, not a mark on that car, so it looks like he stayed out of trouble so far. As Dan takes a look down the inside now, and Dan taking the toe skate on the hairpin. Trying to do the same. Matowski getting a little bit squirrely there, so Matowski dropping 2 places and trying to fight back on the inside there, which he does look like he's got, but that battle leaves it wide open, and Nicky making a storm through the inside. Nicky up to 5th place currently. Will he make this stick though on the right-hander? He tries to take a wide line, maintain it momentum. Matowski just blocking him off in front. He's nowhere to go. He's nowhere to go. He's got to slot back inside. Hurlo forcing that manoeuvre there. Almost tactics from these two BMW drivers from the dark blood BMWs here. Allowing Dan to get a little bit away from the action here. Hurlo up into 3rd place, Matowski's 4th, Nicky all the way up into 5th, and Jack dropped to 6th place now. As we see Kovkal and Ambicu, or is it Ambicu and Shaw, I'm not quite sure, on the exit there, getting side to side, a door-to-door action. Nothing comes of it though, as they keep things together. And right now into Coca-Cola curve into our last corner. No further pits for anybody at this stage, so lap 4 out of 25. And it could still be anybody's race down to 10th place there. So a little rundown for our order. Evan still out in first, Dan second, Holo third, Yatoski fourth, Nicky fifth, but he's not happy about it and he doesn't want to stay though. Uniclark in sixth, and Uniclark taking a pass on Nicky as well, so Uniclark following in Nicky's stride all the way through the grid, and he's actually not satisfied with that position. He wants top spot. I think Uniclark will only be satisfied with the win, as Mitowski get a push wide there and drops down to 6th place, and T-Tech is in Jack switching place there. So all action here tonight on Thursday, and this feature race being just as exciting as the sprint, and we've got to account for the pit stops yet, so even more action to come. As we're on board here with Uniclark, and Uniclark had to slot in behind here with Nicky. Nicky gets a bit squirrely as he comes into Advan Nurburgring curve again. Advan the quickest corner on the circuit here, pretty much flat out all the way through, and heavy on the brakes into NGK chicane here. Can make quite a lot of time up here on the chicane if you get it right though, as Nicky proved last time on the exit. And Mitowski there trying to take a little look there on the inside there on Cockal, doesn't quite make it stick. So Hurlo here, 3 wide across the line now, with Evan and with Dan. So Dan dropping back low and Hurlo managing to stick it through the middle, but Evan's still got the inside line. It's not going to go with 3, but they managed to filter it down to 2 with Evan and Hurlo. Evan getting a little bit squirrely, and Dan still up his backside as they come round the Mercedes arena. The 6th time now, still all to play for, as Ambicue makes his pit. Ambicue has made a pit stop, so could be damage related, could be tactical. I did see a bit of door-to-door action with Ambicue earlier, so potentially damage related, hopefully not too much. And as we take a little look on board here for the battle for essentially what is the battle for still 3rd place. Evan hoping to try and make a bit of distance, but again taking a little bit of a squirrel there on the last line of curve as we're coming down here. It's vodka again. We'll take a little look on board with Nicky now. And Nicky's still managing to push through the grid here. He's made progress on Dan, moving up to 3rd place, putting him in between Uniclark and himself, which is probably the best place for Nicky. Uniclark's pushing hard, and Nicky hoping that'll slow him down a little bit as he sucks Evan's draft, and as Hurlo tries to try and get a little bit of an advantage from pinning himself to the wall there, as they come down into turn 1. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. The name of the Hawkhaken Herpin, I believe it's called. I'm back into Mercedes arena for the 7th time, so looking like they've started to get a little bit of a gap between them. Not an awful lot between 2nd and 3rd now. Hurlo still sniffing the back of Nicky, not letting it rip. And Evan making his way on the outside, Nicky on the inside. Is he going to let him have the place? He does let him have the place, so that's Nicky up into 1st place now. Evan 2nd, Hurlo 3rd, and Uniclark 4th. Uniclark has made his way past Dan, pushing Dan back down to 5th place. But all still to play for here. This could be anybody's race, and the top 5 here are so close. On board with Hurlo now. Hopefully not the curse of the commentator, as he's sniffing all over the back of Evan's car. Evan having a difficult race 1 here, but making it stick in race 2. taking the defensive line on the inside there. Should give Hurlo the run here. But he's still not done with Uniclark. Uniclark trying to have to work off the centre, I believe. Just showing that he's been trying to go down the inside. As we come into lap 80 of our feature event. So a little run down the order. After our first 5 rounded off by Dan, we've got T-Tackers in 6th, Kovkar in 7th, Tro in 8th, Jack in 9th, Tursky 10th, VMX 11th, Ambiq 12th, Ambiq 13th, Declan 12th, and Shello in 14th. So I believe we may have lost a driver in Alienzo. Still focusing on the battle here for essentially what is first place it could even be. But focused on Hurlo and Uniclark at the moment. Uniclark looks like he has taken a little bit of damage to the back of the BMW there. As Evan and Nicky still go toe to toe for first place. Literally side by side here throughout this Nurburgring circuit. Neither driver willing to relinquish, and the problem is when you do, there's somebody else quite happy to take your place right behind you, sniffing that opportunity. So really great to see, really clean action here. Again, if you do want to get involved in this action, if you are interested in clean sim racing, if you do want championship racing, or if you're just looking for a bit of an arrive and drive as part of our community races that we do every evening, do head over to rubbinsracing.co.uk, take a look through our information. If it sounds like it's for you, have a scroll down, hit the driver sign up button, and that'll take you through to our Discord server and get you involved in all the action. Driver sign up button's right down there next to buy us a coffee if you want to do that. We are a non-profit organisation, and all your donations do get fed straight back into our community. Helps us fund what we do and get prizes for some of our community prize events. So just see Evan come into the pits though as we start to come into lap 9. So not quite halfway through our feature race, but Evan taking a pit stop there, potentially trying to get the better of the engine damage or trying to cool his tyres down from some of the door-to-door action from 1st to 5th place there. So that has give a distinct pack at the front of the group now between 1st and 4th down to Hurlo, and followed up by T-Tackers in 5th. Those guys still at the action, still at each other's necks. Will not let it drop. Dan's made his way back up to 3rd place. There is going to be some restructuring here though, as we see some of the guys that have already pitted start to work their way back up through the order. So we've seen VMX pit earlier now, he's made his way back up through up to 10th place. So again, we will still start to see these guys start to work their way up as we take a little look at sort of the action here with VMX and that lovely pass and delivery that he's got. So VMX, I expect we will be seeing coming out fighting within that top group. I'm not quite sure where, depends on the pit stops with these guys. Depends on whether fighting with each other has slowed them down. We might see VMX get a cheeky little undercut here and maybe a leapfrog a few drivers, so look out for that later on in the race. And 2 more pits now as we see Nicky and Uniclark both in the pits, so in that order actually. So Nicky in 1st, Uniclark in 2nd. So this is going to be close on the pit strategy here to see which one gets it. But that does allow Dan into 1st place, but again just a temporary measure now. But T-Tackers, they're taking Hurlo on the inside, so T-Tackers not quite finished yet. He wants glory for his debut races, maybe trying to make his put his name in the Rubbish Racing Hall of Fame, become a legendary driver. As Uniclark makes his way out the pits there, and Nicky, so a little bit of a gap there. Looks like Uniclark potentially has got the jump on Nicky there, so a little bit of damage there, or picked up from Nicky early on in that race might have affected that, or a lazy pit crew, it tends to be in my case, so that is an unfortunate circumstance that happens from time to time here. But Uniclark coming out in 6th and Nicky rejoining in 7th place. So Tro and Kovkar, Hurlo, T-Tackers and Dan all still need to make a pit stop, yep. Just take a look on board here with Hurlo. Hurlow currently hanging in second place for the time being. Not too far behind the leader, so not too far behind Dan. About a second or so in it now, so within striking distance. Minor mistake there from Dan would see Hurlow catch up to him as they both come into the pits now, so Dan and Hurlow taking the pit stops. So I think that's about half our drivers just over now that have pitted. And T-Tech is into the lead temporarily, so T-Techers will be happy for that. 15 minutes of fame there. Enjoy that spot, T-Techers. Unfortunately, I suspect it shan't be for long, and does allow Cobcar into second place. So again, limited information about some of our newer drivers here, unfortunately. Don't quite have the nationalities, ages, and background information for some of these drivers, but I'll bring you what I can for the drivers that we do have. So that is trotting down in the pits there, and Hurlow rejoining from the pits as he comes out behind Nicky and VMX. So as it happens, Uniclark has come out in front of VMX, so they're battling. They're not actually seeing Uniclark see too much of a deficit. Potentially maybe a mistake from VMX in the whilst he was catching back up to the grid that could have affected that. But yeah, he returns back into fourth place, VMX. So nice to see him getting slap bang involved in the action there, which I suspect will be potentially his second place when all is said and done whenever he's pitted. As we see Hurlow and NRP, they're going door to door, close action. Nicky getting squirrely on the exit but making it hold, maintaining that inside position. Well behaved now, BMW, they both come down along the fast kink up into the chicane, getting towards the rev limiter. We'll be picking up some engine damage here from keep reaching that rev limiter. Lovely punchy revy little engine these BMWs, but are prone to a little bit of damage, are prone to overheating, so something the guys will have to be watching for in the second part of this race as we come up to lap 12, I believe, so about the halfway stage now during this race. A little rundown of the order. So as we come to the halfway point, we have T-Tech is in first, Cobcar second, Uniclark has made his way all the way up to third, including his pit stop, so I do expect Uniclark will be potentially running away with this one again. VMX in fourth place, Nicky fifth, Hurlow sixth, Evan in seventh place, Dan eighth, Sean ninth, Amber QE 10th, Jack 11th, Declan 12th, Shelling 13th. So that's the order of it for now. As we take a little bit look on board with some of the guys towards the back of the grid now. Some of these guys that have got a little bit of damage, a little bit of chewed up front end. Will it be affecting the rear on the vehicle? And again, like I said, mechanical damage that are playing a part. So, but again, Jack looking to do well, currently in 11th place. But I suspect Jack may have pitted so far, so we might see him move up the order as one or two guys start to pit. Again, not a lot of information we've got on a couple of our new drivers here, so I'm sure that will come over the coming weeks as they spend more time with us. As we see Cobcar making a pit now, so Cobcar coming in from second place. As a car that I believe he's already lapped comes to unlap himself. And that allows Uniclark to come through into second place. BMX to follow. So Cobcar will be expected to rejoin, but expected probably 9th or 10th place. So that does see a little bit of a restructure of our order. T-Tackers does need to make a pit stop yet. Cobcar comes out 10th place for Cobcar, I think, as he rejoins. 11th place as he rejoins as Jack passes him. So Jack there does move up the order with one of the pit stops. That's to see for Jack. So in front of Jack, we've got Trotty and Amber Hewitt. Trotty currently in 8th place. Trotty, our Welsh driver, 43-year-old from Swansea, as we well know. Regular featurer in rubbish racing races in both Clio's touring cars and our Thursday Night Lights. And a lovely, we're going to call that OAP brown coloured, for want of a better word, but with the lovely lime green stripes on there. So great choice of car though. Take a little ride along now with Scotty. So it's with Trotty. Trotty comes up to the rear approach of Dan's vehicle. Dan dropping back to 7th place, so was performing well. Did see himself up there in the lead temporarily at the beginning of this race. Still managed to hold his own though, 7th place, not bad. 140 lap times again. But about race pace that we've seen so far here today at Nurburgring, so managing to keep up there with the pack. As you take a look on board now with Hurlo and Evan, so 5th and 6th place. A lot of where this action's been going on today. Evan in the thick of it, as per usual. So one of our most passionate drivers, Evan, loves to get involved with a bit of door-to-door action. Loves a little bit of anger racing. So not afraid of going door-to-door. Two of our staff team there do make contact. That's Evan and Hurlo in 6th and 5th place respectively. Hurlo might coming out better off on that one, so Evan might have a little something to say, and taking the helmets off and a few words said after the race after that one maybe, but that has allowed Dan to catch up with Evan and Shaw, so maybe we might see these three start to bunch up now, maybe a repeat of what we saw in race 1 in the sprint, which was what can only be described as a slugfest, I believe, in the first few laps of the sprint race. So keep an eye on that. And T-Tech is now into the pit, so our provisional leader does start to take his pit stop now. 7 seconds before Uniclark follows up behind him, so he's got the opportunity to get in, get a quick pit stop, and try and get back out. I don't expect him to come out in the top 3, but potentially in the top 5 is possible. Around Hurlo and Evan I would hope to see him come out at. As we see Uniclark and Lee move up there into 1st and 2nd, and that white livery of Nicky come up there into 3rd place. As Tekka starts to make his approach, so Hurlo and Evan and Dan past Tekka's now. And he's rejoining just alongside Ambacue. Ambacue just looking to get the jump on him, which he does run the outside of turn 1, coming into Mercedes section here and down into this difficult left-right section. Doesn't look like he wants to give it up though, Tekka. Looks like he does want to try and fight for that place, so 8th place, still considerable points here at a Rubbish Racing Championship level, so he will want that position. More for the prestige than the points I think here tonight, but as you take a little look on board with Dan now, so Evan and Dan looking like they're pulling away from Troll a little bit in 5th and 6th place. Troll holding up 7th place, so a little run down of the order as we come into lap 15 now. It's Uniclark at the beginning, VM at the front, VMX in 2nd, Nicky 3rd, Hurlo 4th, Evan 5th, Dan 6th, Trotty 7th, T-Tech is 8th, Ambiguity 9th, Jackson 10th, Cov 11th, and Declan at the back of the grid in 12th place. So taking a look at lap times here though with part of the feature race, so a little bit slower, potentially the weather playing a factor in that, track a little bit warmer, but 1:39.6s are slower than what we had in the sprint race I believe, and certainly slower than what we saw in qualifying. So again, I think track temperatures and tyre temperatures playing a part in that. As we see Uniclark start to get the back end a little bit squirrely. Why not when you're in 1st place with a 2-second gap? As we go along with an on board now here with Uniclark, as you can see, all the way up to almost 9,000 revs on the BMW. So a really great sounding little engine, 2-litre engine. again, a favourite for modifiers. These chassis able to fit S14 engines in, all sorts of weird and wonderful turbo systems. So a great little car for race meets, modifiers alike, not just for the track. As we see Uniclark getting exceptionally squirrely there, almost losing the car actually. So as he comes up to GK chicane, closely followed by VMX. So VMX 1.3 seconds, so not too far away behind him now. VMX, obviously our Australian driver, another staff member hailing from Brisbane in Australia. Apparently he believes it's a little island at the bottom of the world and it kicks England's butt, but I'm pretty sure that that's open for debate. So yeah, good member of staff and a good all-round guy, VMX. From what I understand, he's a two-wheel botherer as well. So all forms of motorsport does this gentleman like. Currently holding up second place, and Nicky in third. So it looks like we've got a Rubbins Racing staff member 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. Nurburgring Sprint. I'm starting to think we might be getting the crowd's cry fix after this race. But you never know. It's not over till it's over, and the fat lady's not singing yet. So lap 17 as we come through the Mercedes arena. Look on board with VMX as he looks like he has closed that gap to Uniclark, dropping that back from a 2-second gap all the way down to a less than a second here now. So maybe the rear tyres Uniclark getting a bit twitchy there. We did see him losing it on the exit at a couple of corners. In fact, at this part on the last lap, so potentially starting to push it a little bit hard, or potentially set up for a slightly reduced race length. So VMX will look to capitalise here and end that winning streak that Uniclark's had so far. Like I said, to be back-to-back wins in 2 separate TNL events. So we'll take a little bit of a look down the grid here now. So we've still got a bit of a battle in play in 5th and 6th place for Dan Trotti. Evan making his way down to 7th place now. So 5th, 6th, 7th. All still within striking distance each other. T-Techers and Bakue in 8th and 9th. Again, not too much distance between them. We could see some action there on track. But the guys starting to separate out now as they come into lap 18. And a little bit of damage there. Looks like Declan's picked up. So maybe not quite the tail that Declan would have wanted in his Thursday night light event. But certainly some good experience for him here. You see him coming around Coca-Cola Cove there with a twisted front end, a busted lip. So, but great to see him still racing. So back up to our action now, to the front of the grid between Uniclark and VMX. Again, still 0.7 of a second here in between these guys now. So not an awful lot. VMX looks like he's just holding that, so potentially tactics here we might be seeing from VMX. Happy to sit behind Uniclark, happy to make Uniclark do the work. We'll be benefiting from that draft, but we'll also be picking up extra heat from the fact that he's sat in the slipstream, and that will be making VMX's engine work harder. But that might not be playing an issue with a good radiator setting. Could pay dividends, but do remember that VMX did pit early here in this race, so we'll be running for an extended session on the same engine. So we might see him start to drop off towards the end of the race on the straights. So it'll be a close battle here. We're seeing a little bit of loss of pace in the corners from Uniclark and a little bit of lot of pace on the straights from VMX. I can take that one to the line. Nicky looks like he's finding himself a little bit of space here, so 8 seconds from the leader, but a good 3 seconds from Hurlo in 4th place. So Nicky and Hurlo there maintaining their 3rd and 4th positions. As the pit stops have seen it, Dan's made his way back up to 5th. So be happy to come out well in the point scoring positions there. Dan now comes down the Mercedes arena into that tricky turn 4 and 5. And he seems to be catching Hurlo now, so not a million miles away from the back of 4th place. Will be stinging from coming from first in this race, having to go down the order, seeing yourself almost drop to 7th place. So it is nice when you see you start come back up that grid. You've got to stop yourself from pushing though. Real risk in these cars is to push too hard, take it too far, and then you lose all momentum and lose all speed. So Dan looking to try and make small gains here. Certainly reel Hurlo in. Trotty made his way back up to 6th place now, but there is a bit of a gap between him and Dan. So a couple of seconds. Difficult to make that up on the natural race pace, even with 6 laps left. So we'll be looking for mistakes from Dan to try and capitalise on that, Trotty. Now across the timing line for what is lap 20 of our feature race. If you're looking for the next up and coming event at Robbins Racing, we've got our GT5 event, which features on Friday night at 8 PM UK time, not 8 PM, which is GMT +1 for you guys that are in Europe at the moment. Again, we've got our IndyCar event on Saturday, which unfortunately is not broadcast. The next broadcast event we do have is our Sunday night event for GT3, so do make sure that you tune into our Racing TV channel on Sunday to catch that event as well. So we'll take a little look at the battle now here between 4th and 5th place between Hurlo and Dan. Dan managed to put in on the last lap a quicker lap time than Hurlo, so Hurlo losing a second or so, maybe a mistake from Hurlo on that last lap. Dan certainly starting to rein him in here. Again pulling away from Trotty, so there is a gap being created there, but Dan does seem to be bridging it and closing that gap up, so hopefully we'll see Dan try and take Hurlo on here towards the last few laps of this race. As Hurlo comes now into Coca-Cola Curve. Again, another Welsh driver in Hurlo and another staff member. So, good show out here tonight from the racing staff. As Hurlo brings that lap time back down again. So a better lap this lap from Hurlo. Hopefully maintaining that distance now of around about a second, just less than a second or so between himself and Dan, as Dan then starts to make a move on the outside, so maybe Hurlo making a mistake there. And Dan is definitely sniffing around the outside, so this could be a challenge for 4th place here between Dan and Hurlo. Still half a second a lap on Hurlo, so putting in green sectors compared to Hurlo here, making that car work towards the latter part of the race. Hurlo not defending too much at this stage, saying to Dan, if you can go for it, you go for it. I think he knows better that actually it's more difficult than just to try and whip it around the outside in these BMWs, because of what you do with the tyres and what it does to the performance of the car after that. So allowing Dan to sit in behind him, not feeling the pressure too much at this stage, having his own race here, Hurlo. So good to see he's keeping his composure, but Dan will be looking to try and take that position, so we'll keep an eye on these two guys here. And that's last the chicane. And going back on board here with Uniclark and VMX for 1st and 2nd place. So again, these guys here only half a second in it. It does look like VMX has started to close that gap back up again. Had extended to around about a second again, but now back down to nose-to-nose action almost. As you see the back of that battered O2 beam of Uniclark's, looks like it's been through the war zone in both races now. So, but still managing to maintain, still managing to get put into 1st place. So, despite the action, despite the contact, Uniclark still managing to get quick laps around here. So, VMX tries to take a look down the inside. Didn't work this time, but clearly VMX there, he's putting some of the lap times in. He has got the pace to try and challenge Clark, so a couple of looks down the inside, a couple of quick feints and a mistake can quickly be created here, so it could really be all change here for first and second, or for fourth and fifth. So take a little look at Nicky here. Again, a few seconds off the battle in first and second now. Down to a 10-second gap here, but again, another considerable gap between him and Hurlo. Nicky having his own race here. Great to see him coming back up. I think Nicky started in 14th position on this grid, so a great comeback there from Nicky. Worked his way through, consistent, managed to keep the car largely out of trouble in this race, which is not surprising from Nicky. It's the usual standard of race that you see from Nicky. Consistent, smooth driver. Not unfamiliar with an accident, but there does tend to be more collateral damage rather than Nicky's fault. We've got a lot of practice in the GT3s, I think, recently, Nicky, so good to see him with a change of scenery here. VMX has dropped back a little bit. I think that manoeuvre did cost him a little bit that he tried to pull on Clark earlier. Just sent it a little hard, made him drop back a little bit now. So back to almost a second. And it does look like Dan and Hurlo has changed position there. So Dan and Hurlo definitely going door to door. Looks like Dan has secured that position in fourth place, but Hurlo's not let it done yet. So Hurlo's still coming up the inside. Lap 23 and they're still battling here. So not prepared to let it live here in Thursday Night Lights. As Hurlo gets locked up under braking, sends the front end a little bit twisty. Managed to keep hold and snatches that outside line, gets his car in front. Well done from Hurlo there. Nice clean manoeuvre. So potential tactics here from Hurlo, saving the car a little bit for the last couple of laps and giving it everything he's got, trying to throw Dan off the scent. He's taken on board with Dan here through the fastest part of the Nurburgring grid section, all the way up to over 8,500 revs before he gets that changed. Not enough to see him into NGK chicane to try and make a manoeuvre here. Potentially will on Coca-Cola curve get a decent run. Two different quick angles here as you come into this last corner. Skirting the apex all the way through, or trying to go deep and cut back. Potentially not this time though. It looks like Hurlo's got away cleanly. As we see Evan coming up there in the background. So Evan putting in 140.0, so Evan actually was third fastest, fourth fastest lap last time round. We're putting in quick laps here, while these two guys are starting to now give each other drop shoulders and feints. Evan will be starting to catch him, so that will be affecting lap times. Dan still sniffing around the back into turn 5. Hurlo runs a little wide there, so could potentially be getting track limits messages from the race director. It will be interesting to see what the penalties look like after this race, as we see Dan get very sideways there. Manages to keep the number 91 car in check though. Didn't even lose too much time, so take a little look at our timing boards here. So penalties, yep, 3 and 4 seconds between Dan and Hurlo, so not an awful lot. It could go either way. Certainly could go either way. I suspect Hurlo will be trying to maintain track position regardless though. But Dan potentially might have a second here to play with as we come up through Coca-Cola curve for the penultimate time. Watching Hurlo, Dan and Evan for the battle for fourth place here. So Clark and VMX, looks like that gap has closed up again now into the last lap. So these two gents again making the final shove for it here in the final lap of the sprint race. Sorry, the feature race. And that familiar sight of Clark's chewed rear left quarter that VMX must be sick of the sight of by now. Desperate to overtake him. But by the way things stand as they are, this would see the 4th straight win for Thursday Night Lights for Uni Clark. So he's desperate to take this win, I guess. As they come up through to the NGK chicane, I believe it's called. The very last time. Hot into this section, VMX not enough to make the run. Maybe on the final chicane. Might get a decent exit on the into Coca-Cola curve. 0.3 is a bit of an ask as he comes up towards the back end, closes it right up there. And it looks like Uni Clark has got the momentum across as he comes up to the timing line, and that's Uni Clark for the win. And VMX in 2nd place as Nicky comes around Coca-Cola curve for a comfortable 3rd place. A little bit of a tail end on there for Nicky. Herlon manages to maintain 4th, but it is going to be interesting to look at the penalties as the guys come across the line. There's about a second in it. And Evan then following up behind down in 6th place, closely followed by Trotty. And Evan dropping to 8th place there as you get the hat-tricks across the line. Followed by Amber Hewitt and Jack de Mendes now coming over the line for 10th place, 9th and 10th. And Kovkar coming to the chicane section for the last time. Kovkar managing to keep it relatively clean, I think, and relatively tidy this time round. Car nowhere near as much damage by the end of this race as was in the first one, so he will be happy with that, but possibly not happy with the 11th place finish. And Declan finishing at the pack in 12th place. So that's been our Thursday Night Lights for this evening. Like I said, we've got other events coming up throughout the week. Our GT3 event will be televised on 8 PM on Sunday and commentated, so make sure to catch that. But be sure to check out Rubbies Racing TV for any of the community races that we do stream, or any of the any bits and bobs that we've got going on in the meantime. Like I said, if you are a budding driver, you have enjoyed this evening, you are looking to get involved in some of the races, then do go over to rubbiesracing.co.uk, check us out, hit the driver sign up button and come and get involved in the action. All the guys are really welcoming, a lovely community aspect, so a great organisation to be involved in. But yeah, you've been with your host Lecky for this evening. So from all our guys here at Thursday Night Lights, it's been a great big thank you from me. A well done to Uni Clark and VMX and Nicky as our 1, 2, 3 winners, and thanks very much to all the drivers for turning up tonight and sticking with us. Thanks to all you out there on in the world of YouTube for watching this stream. Do make sure you hit like and subscribe. But until next time, like I said, I've been Lecky2000, and thanks very much for watching. Good night.